Hello everybody, this is Spring and we're back here with part 2 of What If Deku was a hybrid from Legacies. Okay, I'll be saying a few things. Um, so Deku will be wearing the ripped jeans and the Assassin's Creed jacket. He also wears the sleeveless jacket underneath that. And, um, the things that I'll be getting through this will be the 10-month training arc, the entrance exam, the, um, the training that Aizawa puts them through to see if they deserve to stay in this class. Um, and heroes and villains, and maybe some of the USJ. Okay, let's get in with this. Um, we start this off with Izuku arriving in Japan from him just coming back from America from the swordsman school. Um, he walks to his mother's apartment and he smells blood coming from it, using some of his wolf instincts to smell stuff. Um, oh, give me a minute. Right now he looks like this. He has his wolf ears. He has a he has his wolf snout and his tail. So he's smelling for like if it's actually coming from his mother's apartment. With him then going in, seeing blood all across the room. He's not sure if it's actually his mother's. Because he doesn't know what his mother's blood actually smells like. But he knows but he does know the smell of blood from him being a vampire. And he doesn't have the problem that most other vampires have with that. If they smell blood, they go out of control. He can control that. And then a shadowy figure comes out of the corner of the room and says that if you ever want to see your mother again, you'll come with us. As then Izuku gets hit on the back of the head with hearing a loud ding. With him then waking up next to his mother. With the man then asking Izuku a question if he knows where his father is. Then Izuku replies with no. And then he asks Inko, with her saying no, but the guy thinks that she's lying. And then Izuku Izuku can tell that his mother is telling the truth, as then the shadow figure hits his mother with a metal bat to get her to tell the truth. As Izuku says that she's telling the truth, but he doesn't believe him. And then this goes on for around 2 weeks, and and by the end of those 2 weeks, the things that have happened to Izuku is that he's been tortured. So they've ripped off his fingernails, with them turning to black now, kind of like in Tokyo Ghoul. His fingernails and toenails. And the only thing that has given him hope is old memories of his mother. But those also get clouded by her terrified face of being raped during this whole thing. And then what happens is around 4 months go by. This is during the 10-month training arc. By the end, near the end of those 4 months, All Might comes barging in, saying that he will not let them torture young Midoriya and his mother again anymore. But by this time, Izuku's mother has died from both depression and sadness. Also, Izuku hasn't been fed any food or blood or given any water, so he's been running off of fumes here. He has also been surviving off biting like inside of his mouth to get blood from that, which gives him some restoration. By the end of this, he has scars all over his body. There's also burns from. Also, you're also probably wondering why he didn't like wolf out or use any of his powers. It's because they had a magic dash supernatural nullifier, which nullifies all magical powers. Like that thing that was at the bottom of the swordsman school. These scars stay on his body as well as the burns, but he uses illusion magic to make them hide stay hidden, like only showing like half of them. As All Might tells Izuku that he can do whatever he wants to the people that hurt him and his mother. So he goes on a rampage and summons Drake, which is his sword. He's only using him in his first form, as he with each one of them he cuts off their arms, both of their arms and their legs, making sure they stay alive through this whole entire process. Then he cuts off their cuts out their tongues, and then finishing with taking out their eyes, and finishing them with stabbing them through the head. Also, um, he took the chains that confined his mother and him, and wraps them around his wrists, symbolizing that he failed to save his mother, as well as himself. Then, in the 5th month of it, Izuku has gone through this deep depression, and if you know the show Charlotte, he's pretty much living like that up until the 6th month, where he actually decides to leave. So Hope and Landon has tried to visit him, like that purple-haired girl tried to do in Charlotte, but the same as Charlotte, he denied them there and continued eating. At the 6th month, he has decided to do some training, so then he doesn't lose anyone that he cares about ever again. Um, he does some training, and then Drake says that he can take them to a world where he can do unlimited amount of training for an infinite amount of time, since it's pretty much similar as like the hyperbolic time chamber. As they go there, it passes around like 10 years in there, but it's only been like 2 months for them. So they're on the 7th month, I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, the 8th month. He comes back after that trip, and he's gotten much stronger. He has unlocked a new ability for his demon form. Okay, I want to mention some of his demon form powers. Well, I'm pretty sure it's only a few. But he has hell flame manipulation, demonic flame manipulation. Those two are completely different things. Um, Anything that he has put on a certain charm, he can manipulate them to his will. So he's put this on his on chains, on both of the chains that are around his wrists, and he has pretty much this ability that whenever people feel despair around him, he gains strength from it. I got this idea from The Devil's a Pastimer. So if they feel scared, or yeah, mainly scared, he gets power from it. He can leech that power and add it onto his own. He's also unlocked a few new forms. He unlocked this one, which is his Heavenly Dragon. form. He unlocked this one, which is his Give me a minute. This is his Hellbound Warrior Dragon form. This one is pretty much he has the abilities of some he has some draconic abilities as well as some demon abilities. Since this is a form that he got explicitly from Drake. Okay, then next this is his fire death demon form. Fire death demon god form, which he can pretty much control death of this in this form. He can decide if someone dies or if they live. Well, more like if as long as he sees them die, he can decide if they actually die or don't die. And this is true demon king form, where he pretty much has all the demon prince form abilities, but times 100. He also has this one. This is the the demonic uh uh cataclysma form. Which pretty much it just gives him the ability to destroy anything with fire. Osco. At this point, he is able to use around 1,500% of one for all. And for the rest of the the two for the last 2 months, he tries to do the spell that locks away memories, where he succeeds in this and locks away the memories of his mother dying the way that she did. In this, it's it's that she's just moved away for a while. Okay, and that's the end of the 10-month training arc. Okay, you're probably gonna want some answers. Yes, I am doing this to Izuku. So he's been cheated on, he's been tortured, and he's been through pretty much hell. So I'm making this Izuku a little bit insane, like a little bit insane, but he still wants to be a hero. Okay, let's get to the entrance exam. He actually, give me a minute. Which is the, Ghost Rider bike from Ghost Rider. It looks like this whenever he's not riding it, but when he's riding it, it looks like this. So, he rolls up to the school on this. So, he has got his, driver's license for cars and motorbikes. Um, he rolls up on this, and then he gets off it. Then he condenses it down and, puts it as a chain around his neck. Then on his way in, he steps next to Bakugo and Oraka with Oraka's arm being around Bakugo. With Bakugo then saying, "If it isn't the damn nerd," with Izuku giving Bakugo a death glare. And then he picks also he's like a few centimeters taller than Bakugo, with Izuku then picking up Bakugo's hair and then slamming his face into the ground. And then he just continues walking, with Bakugo then saying, "You damn coward, walking away from me." With Izuku just ignoring this. Then we go with the whole theory exam. He passed through that with flying colors. And then we get to when President Mike is explaining the practical exam. Izuku is in like a far off corner, is actually in the same spot that he was in before, next to Bakugo and Uraka. He's pissed at this that he was that he in this they were given seats that they had to go to. He just happened to be put next to Bakugo and Uraka. And during this whole thing, he's wearing headphones. These are like headphones where only he can actually hear the music. So and he just he has his eyes open and he's reading Prison Mike's lips. And since he has the skill, and also during this, Ida does point it out, but then Izuku says that he should mind his own business and that President Mike was just about to get to that, about to get to the 0 point part. He also has this thing about they'll be using the same testing grounds, but it'll be using people will be going at the different times. So Bakugo goes first, then it's like two others after that, and then it's everybody there has to stay until like three. Um and right as it okay, so Uraraka is in the same one as Deku, and he puts on his headphones and blasts his music up to full volume. With the doors opening and he's still just chilling there, like tapping his feet on the floor. Everybody think he's just being cocky, but then he opens his eyes, as then he disappears. As then 10 3-pointers just get destroyed, with Izuku being at the end of all of them. And then he continues fighting with him being surrounded by a bunch of 3-pointers and 2-pointers. As when they all charge at him, he just jumps up and then slams his hand down in like a superhero thing and sends out a heat wave which destroys all like the internal parts of him. And then it's been like around 10 minutes and he's gotten around 250 points. Then it's we're going into the watching room where everybody's watching the observatory. With also during this Bakugo is like remarking like how the hell is the damn nerd gotten so strong? And then what happens is All Might tells Nezu to bring in 5 0-pointers for Izuku, with Nezu agreeing, seeing how strong Izuku is. With the first one being brought in, he obliterates it by going straight through the core of its head, and it falling. Then with the second one, he breathes a boatload of fire on it, melting it down to a pile of molten metal. Then with the third one, well, these were actually smaller than actually no, they were the same size as the regular 0-pointer. Then with the last three, a villain then breaks into the grounds and uses his quirk. Basically, it's metal manipulation as well as technopathy, where he just merges all of the robots, including the molten scraps of some, and forms one giant 0-pointer. Which then Nezu then tells everybody to evacuate, but Izuku doesn't. He gets stronger from everybody's fear, which makes him bulk up a bit. Which then he hears a scream, him knowing that it's him seeing that it's Uraraka. Him being absolutely pissed that he has to save her, but since he wants to be a hero, he saves her as well. He bolts in, picks her up like bridal style, and takes her a good few meters away. With Izuku then summoning Drake and using one of his chains, igniting it on fire using blue fire. Actually no, using purple fire, and then he wraps the chain around the wrist that has actually He starts using his whip to the chain to hack away at the 0 pointer, seeing that it is actually much stronger and durable than it was before. Then he wraps the chain around his wrist and tells Dre that it's time to do it. With him then turning the sword his Drake upside down, slamming it into the ground. Him getting engulfed in flames as he turns into his true Demon King form. With him being like the size of like a 2 pointer, with everybody being shocked at his transformation. Him still getting more powerful from everybody's fear. As then he puts his hand on the ground, and a tiny volcano pops up underneath the Mega 0 pointer as it shoots through the 0 pointer and destroys it. With him then looking like he's flying at high speeds over to the villain and takes him down. Izuku getting extra points for this. So by the end of it, he has obtained around 450, smashing All Might's score. As then he goes back to his regular Zuki form. As he walks off, telling Recovery Girl that the brunette-haired girl has a twisted ankle. With him then walking off. With then Bakugo coming into the grounds, going over to Uraraka, but running into Izuku, saying that how the hell did he get so strong? With Izuku just ignoring him, then Bakugo sends an explosion towards Izuku. This blowing off the mask that was on the side of his bird. That was on. Actually, no. This burning off his the one of the jacket sleeves, saying that it's going to take him a while to fix that, but with him saying to Baku that why the hell did you do that? With then Izuku says that it's going to take him a while for this to fix, as everybody sees the amount of scars and burns that Izuku has on that one arm. With then Bakugo saying, "What the hell happened to you?" With Izuku then says, probably the amount of battles I've been in, being tortured, what else? And dying a couple times. With everybody being shocked by that statement, thinking that he's lying. But then Izuku assures him that he was not joking just then. And then he walks off and brings out his motorbike. But before he leaves, All Might says that he did splendid and that he made it into UA. And before he left, he ran into this girl with part red and part white hair. With him asking what's her name. With her introducing herself as Shoka Todoroki. With Izuku then saying, Endeavor's daughter? With her scoffing at that, saying that I hardly consider that old man my father. That douche my father. As Izuku offers her a ride back to her place. With her taking up that offer, and Izuku takes her back to her place. When he gets there, he says that he will probably see her at school. And her saying the same to Izuku. We skip 1 week later, with it being the first day of UA. Izuku's the first one there, and he's currently napping, listening to music. In his head, he's currently thinking about, like, when his mom is going to get back, since he still thinks that his mom has just gone on a, work, trip, since he blocked the memories. Then we skip, like, an, hour later, with everybody starts piling in, and then Aizawa shows up saying that they need to put on the school gym uniform. With them then going, and then we cut to the male locker room with Izuku taking off his jacket, with everybody seeing the amount of scars that he has on his body. With Izuku trying to put on the gym uniform, but it won't fit, it's just too tight for him, so he puts on back on his jacket. With Kirishima then asking how he got so many scars. With Izuku then saying that these are only like half the amount of scars that he actually have. Snapping, showing that there's even more there. And then he just puts back on his jacket. But then snapping again with most of the scars being hidden. Then we skip to the training ground, with Aizawa throwing the ball to Izuku, saying that he got first with an astounding 450 points. With Bakugan then scoffing, saying that how the hell did he get first? With then Izuku throwing the ball up in the air, saying Chrono stop, like Chrono stop, which stops the ball in midair, which is pretty much just stopping it in time. But it's moving at such a slow speed that it looks like it's just sitting there. With Izuku using 100% of one for all, punching the ball in midair twice, finishing with a kick. And then he summons 2 fireballs in his hands and shoots it at the ball, which causes it to get more momentum. Then he summons Drake and uses him as a bat and swings at it, and then says Chronos stop, which unfreezes it, and it flies. Then Aizawa shows at it and it says error, saying that he broke the machine from how far it went. Then pretty much it went out of orbit, and further, it's still going because of how far. And then everybody for the throwing test goes the exact same. Then we get to the speed one, with Izuku just pulling up the his pants sleeves, his pants, and bringing out his wolf legs from the knee below, which makes him go extra fast. And he also brings out the wolf paws, like claws, and like up to his elbow, which then he goes on all fours, and the timer goes, with him getting 0.002 seconds, with Izuku then saying that he could have gotten faster. And then he asks Aizawa if he can give it another go, with him then this time using one for all, with it then getting 0.000001 seconds. And then with the strength test, he actually breaks the machine, and he gets first out of everybody. It's Izuku, Shoka, Bakugo, and with everybody with Mineta being last. And then we skip to the next day. They're deciding who should be the class rep, and it's gonna be Ida, because Izuku didn't want to be it. And then we skip to the next day, with them hearing loud thumps coming from outside of the room, with this being All Might coming through the door saying, "I'm coming in like a normal person," with Izuku then saying that barely counts as a normal run All Might. With then All Might then saying, true, young Midoriya," with everybody being shocked that Izuku knows the number 1 hero. Then they ask him how he knows the number 1 hero. With him just saying he's like a father figure for him. Then they go to the training grounds with Izuku's hero outfit. Pretty much it looks like, it's pretty much just, his ripped jeans and his Assassin's Creed jacket, but with a mask, but with his Oni mask covering his face, saying that he wants to keep like a secret identity for as long as he can. Then um it's decided that it's going to be Bakugo and Ida versus Uraka and Izuku. With Izuku being absolutely pissed that he has to work with Uraka, telling her that she should just go to the bomb, because Bakugo will most likely come after him. With with Uraka agreeing willingly, with Izuku being weirded out by this. With then he uses a little bit of using his super hearing. Hears that her heartbeat is accelerating, like if she's like standing in front of someone that she likes. Then he just ignores this, and then we skip to when they're inside. Izuku's just waiting for Bakugo, as then he comes in with an explosion. But Izuku doesn't need to wear his marks right now since he's not doing actual hero business. As then Izuku just walks out of the way of the explosion. As then he performs a very smooth little move where he brings up both of his chains, like in both of his hands, constricting Bakugo with his movements. Since he has full manipulation over the chains, he's constricting Bakugo by holding his hands and his legs in like an X position. As then he uses capture tape around Bakugo and puts it around his neck, almost choking him, but then he stops, saying that Bakugo has been captured. Then Bakugo absolutely gets pissed at this and gets one of his hands free and pulls the grenade, which causes Izuku's skin to melt down to where it's pretty much you can see the muscle fibers. As then his skin just grows back to normal, leaving the scar since he got that before all of the supernatural stuff happened. And he keeps all the scars because of the of that magic thing nullifying his powers. Then we go to Izuku going up to Ida, as he just uses like some kind of super speed and teleports behind him as he kicks Ida to the ground and then uses capture tape around his hand. As then he touches the bomb with All Might announcing Hero Team's win. As all the things go the exact same. That's wait, let's see. Yeah, I think I have enough time to do the a little bit of the US actually I'll do right before the USJ. This is around a few months no, this is around like a week later with as I was saying that they are going to be going on an excursion. At this point they have gone to they have gotten into the dorms since it's a college. If I forgot to mention, most likely did. Then the day right before they go to the USJ, Uraka confesses to Izuku that she regrets what she did to him and asks if he can forgive her. With Izuku saying no, that he can't forgive her, that he will never forgive her for what she did to him, because she is most of the reason why he's like this. With him then saying that he almost committed suicide because of her. And then we skip an hour later with Izuku being on a training ground, clutching his head, hearing like the inner voices that are in his head. Since he has some voices in his head, them being like, forgive her, forgive her. With Izuku out loud saying that he clutching his head, saying that he can never forgive her for what she did to him. She broke my heart, and crushed it into a million pieces. And she did it with Bakugo, which is one of my worst enemies that I've hated for so long, but I ignored it. As then, this weird dark aura appears around Izuku, with then this dark voice in his head saying that you shouldn't forgive her for what she did. She crushed your heart into a billion pieces, with this turning his eyes black, but with purple pupils instead. But with Izuku stepping out of it because he hears All Might's voice asking if you're alright, young Midoriya. With Izuku just saying yeah. Then we get to when they're on the bus to the USJ. They're talking about their quirks, and then Sue gets to Izuku with him saying that she doesn't understand what his quirk is like. So he's showing multiple abilities. He says that my quirk is called draconic supernatural forces. I have multiple quirks inside this one quirk, or multiple abilities inside this one quirk. I have super strength from part of it. I'm pretty sure I'll be getting more than just super strength from that part of the quirk. I have a werewolf ability. I have something similar to a vampire ability. I have something that I'd like to say is magic. I have dragon abilities, phoenix abilities, and demonic abilities. With everybody just being shocked and like what he listed. Then they get to the USJ, with Izuku then smelling that there's gonna be smelling villains. With him telling Aizawa that there's villains about to attack. With Aizawa then telling the class to get out of there, with Izuku staying. And this, All Might is there, because Izuku healed All Might back to where he's prime, so he can still use a lot of One For All now. Then then we get to the part where Aizawa is fighting the Nomu. The class has gotten out besides Izuku. He stayed in there and helped Aizawa and All Might start fighting. But then the Nomu comes in and starts fighting Izuku. With then Shigaraki saying that, do you know what happened to your mother? With Shigaraki then saying that his master told those thugs to do that to her. With this unlocking those sealed memories that Izuku had in his head. With Izuku then clutching his head, being reminded of everything that happened. With All Might realizing what happened since he helped Izuku with the spell. Being like minor things like helping him do like the magical circle that he needed. With then as then he yells out, with his hair starts spiking up, as then he loses his pupils as he goes into a full-on berserk mode. As then he rushes at the Nomu and starts wailing on it, destroying it, with then Drake like coming out saying that he needs to stop, that he needs to snap out of it. But Izuku can't, he doesn't have any control over his actual body right now. As then his wolf side comes out, going into this, as he starts wailing on Nomu with this form. As then he goes back into his human form and he turns into his dragon. I'm pretty sure it's his dragon emperor form. As then he starts burning the Nomu with phoenix flames, because this is a form where it's merged with the phoenix. As then he turns into his golden flamed phoenix form, with him then burning the Nomu to ashes. As then Shigaraki says to Kirigiri that they need to bring in more Nomu to stop this kid. And he said that Nomi was supposed to defeat All Might. As then they bring in some more Nomi. They bring in around 5. As Izuku then just uses Phoenix Flames to burn them all to ashes. As Shigaraki says to Kirigiri that they need to get out of there, and for them to not worry about the villains. As then, right before Hirogiri could get Shigaraki out of there, Izuku sends a little flame towards Shigaraki, burning his mask, burning the hand. And right as they go through the portal and end out the other side, the hand has been burnt to ash. This leaving a small imprint on Shigaraki's face, being like a small burn where the fingertips were on his where the fingertips were on his face, from the hand. As then we cut back to Izuku, where he snaps out of it and goes back to his human form. As then he calms down, as he says that he remembers everything that happened to his mother. As All Might then says that it's okay, young Midoriya, that it'll be fine, that he's here to help. As then, after that, after this, a month goes past. Everybody, Aizawa's been healed. Wait, no, not a month. Like 2 weeks has passed, and then Aizawa announces the sports festival. Then, like during this 2 weeks, All Might has adopted Izuku as his son, not his biological son, but his son-in-law. And Izuku agrees with this, since he's always seen All Might as like an actual father figure. Besides, yeah. That's where I'm gonna end this part today. If you enjoyed it, thanks. If you want to see more, just like, subscribe, comment, and thanks. Goodbye.